Okay, let's start. So Antoine, you keep us informed of the result, okay? Because I can't watch it right now. So today, 171 status. We use the same every week. That's great. 171 status. Status of work. New websites. Demos. Sipke?
Yeah, I'd like to show some progress on lists and get some feedback.
Zoltan?
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
One from me too.
The usual ones. Piotr?
No, not this time.
Ah.
Oh, I know.
At least he was on time.
Yeah. Me? Maybe, but it's just the status of work. What else?
I would make one on SSL if we have time.
Okay, let's do SSL. Then what else? I don't think there is something more, so it should be okay. Can you see my? No, it's okay. What can you see from behind me? It's okay. I'm hiding it. Fuck, let's close this camera. Too many things on the board. Then, okay, let's start. The status. What has been done during last week? Sharing the screen. Desktop. Tell me when you can see something.
I can see it, and it's loaded almost instantly, which is quite weird.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I updated my system. This a big commit to go 146 files. Last week was almost there. So a lot of work from Daniel for the Azure package module. So he released everything he had to do. I added something new in the core to be able to index multiple values fields like the enumeration. I will show you, that's interesting. And so the idea is that if you look at the fields like the enumeration field, this was the code before the change. Okay, I just added this thing. I will explain why. So this one was used by two things in our chart: the projections, so that a field could describe itself and make its value available for the projection indexer. So you can query over field values. So just as a reminder, the field values are currently officially stored into an XML document attached to the content item, which means you will not be able to query it using SQL. So this thing is just describing the field and how to access its content, like use the storage provider, the new index. And it's a string, and this is what you can get, and this is a description of the field. But in the case of the enumeration, the field contains a semicolon separated list of values. Okay, like if the enumeration is colors, it will be red, blue, green, whatever. So if you query, you will query on a semicolon separated list of values. And it's also used by the indexer in the search engine to save the value. So it will also save this raw value. So what I've added is another descriptor that lets you define, hey, I'm an enumeration field, and when you want to access my values, these are the values. So you just return a lambda describing all the values. So for the enumeration field, you just access the selected values, field.selected values. This way, we are able to index each of the values independently. So with the search API, you could say, give me any content item whose color is or contains red. Okay, it's as straightforward as this. And I have not changed the projection code to be able to save multiple values, but now we can do that. We still need this descriptor to define the description and the name of the value of the field, but this one is better. So I changed it because a customer was blocked on this thing, and it made sense to be able to save multiple values. What am I missing? Nothing. So this is the change here. It's important, and I have updated all the fields, and it's backward compatible. So if you had previous fields, it's okay to not provide that. Okay, it will just not index the field. So I have updated all the fields, and sometimes it's just very simple. Hey, this is the values that you have to index for the Boolean field, just one. Done. Then. So this also is interesting. So in Azure, the Azure module from Daniel, there were two options for the cache provider on Azure, because Azure had two different providers, the web role cache and the shared cache, and they had to be handled differently. But there was a bug, and the support could not answer to the bug, because actually the Azure team was about to release a new version of a cache service, which has been released last Monday. And so then Daniel had to update source code to handle this new caching service. So then lots of changes on this one. So just again, reminder, now in the Azure project, you will have three different features. The default one being able to store the media into the blob storage on Azure. Output cache, so you can store all your output cache values inside Azure caching, and database cache. So second level database caching using again the Azure caching service. And they work on websites and Azure Cloud Services. I have tested them. They work very fine. To define the settings, you can either use the web.config by setting, and I will check out, okay, here in the app settings, you can say add key, for instance, orchard.azure.media.storage and the connection string for the storage service. Everything is documented on the website, so it's very easy. Let me show you. Orchard project.net. The documentation was online before the module. Awesome. Azure. Oh, you see what's new for Windows Azure in 1.7.1. So everything which is new, everything I said is described here. So Daniel also made the documentation, which is awesome. And how to configure it. So blob storage and the caching service. So for instance, blob storage, it tells you how to configure it from Visual Studio using a cloud service, or if you want, from here you see the web config. And you can also do the same using the Azure portal directly, not touching the web config. And this is tenant aware. So if you want to define the key for a specific tenant, like you want to separate the media storage for two tenants, two storage accounts, you just prefix this key with the tenant name and colon. So that's pretty easy. that's it for this thing. What am I talking about? Nothing interesting. Cool. Fixing web deployment support. So the changes that Daniel did were not only for Azure, but also cleaning up the web project files and actually disrupting it, changing how everything is done. So it was kind of some work to understand what has been done and what was not working or what was enabled now. But now it's better than ever. So there were actually some flaws with the web deploy support in Visual Studio. There are two ways of publishing. You can publish locally using a package, or publish on FTP using a package, or you can publish using the web deploy protocol, and they are actually handled differently in Orchard, in Visual Studio, in the pipeline, in the MS Build pipeline. So now the change is that, let me show you this file, which is interesting. Documents, Orchard. Okay, Control End. So the idea is that the web project has been updated to add and exclude specific files. For instance, all the modules and themes have to be included into the deployment pipeline, but the files which are in the bin folder needs to be removed just to make the package as small as possible. And this is done using specific targets, and this is very small compared and very simple compared to what was before. So Daniel just cleaned up everything and everything works now. Also there was some files which are not taken into account and should have been. So it's pretty simple now to understand how it works. It's just say, okay, this is all the file you need to remove from every module. And when you include the module files, or remove all the binaries from their bin folders. Okay? So this is pretty simple. And this is where you say which file you want to remove from the package. Very simple. Actually, we should remove the Git files now also. There is just one, actually. So pretty simple. And now it works in every scenario. It's awesome. And I also updated the click to build stuff. This was the reference exception. Then Daniel fixed he didn't fix anything. He added support for the output cache attribute into the output cache filter. We handled that, but only at the action level. Now you can define it at the controller level. Oh, by the way, Daniel has write access to the repository, okay, as you have to, some of you. If you want to complain, do it. But his changes were outstanding, and he's a pretty safe committer. He won't break anything. I think Benedek, you don't have access to it. I don't remember you having access to the.
No, I don't. I don't have access.
Okay. So if Daniel has it, I think Benedek should have it too. So I will add Benedek after.
Okay, thank you.
Eric doesn't have it already as of now, but Eric needs to sign the AutoCurve thing first. And we'll see. And he's just working on a framework for the 5 for the moment, so we'll see later. I don't think I'm missing anyone here. Then I refactored some things based on the rules module. I moved the stuff from core module related to the rules module to the rules module itself, and fixed also some bugs in the rules module based on all changes I did. I also added the jQuery.min.map file, which was apparently requested in the websites based on the jQuery file itself. The jQuery, when it's loaded, will try to find a jQuery.min.map file. So nice add into the project. Maybe there was a bug open for that, but I just saw that and some people referred to it, so I fixed it. More testing on Azure and fixing stuff. removed so Daniel had added some documentation on how to configure the session on Azure if you want to use shared sessions between different Azure instances. I removed it from the web config because it doesn't talk to most of our users base, so it should be a documentation topic instead of some comments into the web config. What is it? Oh, this one is nice, because Bertrand was just complaining and complaining as usual. French dudes. So where is my orchard? Build succeeded. Oh, it will start. So the idea is to add some notifications on the workflow module to prevent you from forgetting about defining a start event, and also forgetting about saving your workflow when you have done some changes, because everything is in Ajax, so it's client side. And well, what is doing? Okay, oh, it was upgrading some modules, I think. Okay, so if you go to workflows and you create a new workflow, so you see by default, the workflow needs at least one activity to be set as a starting state. You might want to work on the phrasing. If I change it, also you need to hit save in order to save the changes. So let's say I define a starting state. You see it's gone now, and I will save. Boom, perfect. So if I come back, workflows, edit, no message. If I change something, you need to save. And if I remove the start state, you need at least one activity to be set as starting state. So no more mistakes. And it's using a recent change we made in 1.7, I think. Let me show you. This one is interesting. If I go to the views, admin, edit, what I'm doing actually is, you see, I'm injecting two divs inside the layout.messages zone from my page. Okay, so I'm injecting those two divs here, exactly here when the page is rendered, in a layout zone, using the capture thing that we included in 1.7. And this way, my script can modify the things which are in the message zone. It should be reused everywhere you use Ajax, and we need to display messages actually. That's it for this change. So who made that cache flag on the Ajax calls, I assume?
Yeah,
not cache one. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The browser was caching the display of your media library. You
Bad browser.
see all the thumbnails, but if you add or remove images, you would still see them.
Okay.
Not anymore.
Oh, this is awesome. I'm already a fan. We talked about it like 2 weeks ago. Sipke did that. You go to content definition. Let's say I want to create a new article type. And I'm so stupid that I type article. It's not there. But if I hit enter, it goes to the create page. So we talked about it 2 weeks ago and edit it.
Yay!
Even more, if you go to content definition and you type page enter, it edits it. That's awesome. Thank you, Sipke.
You're welcome.
This and this. Then Antoine fixed some things in the media library. I don't know what he fixed, but he fixed it. Okay. Changed many things. I could not see how it. Oh, maybe I will try it. It says he said that there was. Oh, I don't have any example, but if I go to media and I import and I say media URL, this one should have changed, maybe. So, boom. This one up. Here import. Here nothing has changed. Okay, import. Close. Here, no. Oh, this is that we can see this here maybe, which we could not before. And maybe also I think he imported more metadata from the things, and he can say, but he never talks. Good things, I assume. He didn't break anything, so I don't disagree.
You've got some really weird characters in the description there.
Yep, French. If I edit, it's still there. Yep. Oh. Encoding issues.
Yeah.
What was the URL, just to see? It's correct here. Oh, let's look at something. View page source, just to show you also. We can find the OEmbed in JSON here. This is the document that we get. Nuance. This one is okay. This one is okay. Description, nuance. Oh, you see. It should be parsed correctly. That's a Unicode char. So fix it. Fix it, Felix. And we have a repro case. Oh. So this is a contribution from Kamil Servus, Poland. Again, for the migration, some cases were not handled correctly. Provide a pull request. I don't see any issue, and good to go. Pulled. 2 lines of code don't require a CLA approval. Boom. Fixing international characters, loss in media profile. Oh yes, a bug report that if you had media files using Cyrillic chars or international chars, non-ASCII ones actually, then they will be stripped into the thumbnail, the generated thumbnail file name, and then they all have the same file name. So all the thumbnails will be the same of one image, the first one, for instance. So this has been fixed now. This also, I just changed the order of how the autocomplete in taxonomy is registering the scripts, because jQuery had to be first. And this is based on some feedback that the click to build and the deploy had some discrepancies in terms of what files have to be published. And this is to force to remove, based on the previous one, also to remove the bin folder and the themes, the one we have in our chart, which contains nothing, without removing the ones you have in your own projects. So just some small change. And what I'm about to push is changing the version numbers from 1.7 to 1.7.1, just to prepare for the release. So if we can fix the international thing and the media thing before, then we take it and we push the 1.7.1. Okay, I push it in Codeplex, maybe as a kind of beta 1, just for 1 day or 2, and then publish it as a release. Question, remark, comments? Nope, perfect. Beautiful. Everyone's happy? Brett is still showing off with his hat. And soon Sipke will be able to show off too.
How do you know?
Oh man, rich guy.
No, not so much, but I just couldn't wait. Really excited about it. I went with Brett on tour to Tesla.
Yeah.
It's really.
And you didn't. Oh, you don't want to use your Tesla in Amsterdam. We've seen how you drive there.
I'm still gonna drive there
with the curbs. You don't know about it, but he runs and he drives on the curbs, and he broke his car almost into.
It was a close call, yeah.
Okay, so next topic. So 171 is ready. Let's fix the bug that will say that Antoine introduced, even though maybe it's not him, probably me. And then we can ship 171. New websites. Okay, new websites. I already prepared them in advance. This one, how awesome! Maybe the most beautiful website. So everyone who was there at Harvest Amsterdam knew about this site, but we were told not to talk about it because it was not released yet. And this is really awesome. A big brand like that, and the website itself is awesome. Very well done. So from the team of Hello Computer. So very nice website. And for the record, it's so Orchard is used mostly using Web API endpoints from the client side using the Backbone JS framework. So when you click on this thing, for instance, it's loading all the data through JSON and populating it locally. Okay, and some pages are still served by Orchard directly. For instance, this one, I assume, view pages. Yes, you see. So it's a good mix between client-side JavaScript templating and server-side generated pages. This is very nice, and this is how. So I have a few customers I've been working with right now who are using this technique on big websites. So very nice. This one, Brand Republic Insight in Orchard. Is this with Orchard?
Can you put the URLs in the chat window?
Yes, right now. Oops, already prepared with some comments also. Oops, where is this? This is not this thing. This. Did I miss something? Okay. Transas, which is a big website, actually. The big company, at least. The Lifestyle Press, it's a website which actually from the company which creates lots of Orchard websites. One of its members is Stanley Goldman, and they made those websites. Let me show you. Like Tipster, those websites are just Orchard websites. So for instance, tipster.com, but we already saw them in, I don't know to write, tips like this. You see, this is an Orchard website. So they just make, just a hub of all the websites, the Lifestyle Press group. Another car dealer website, the weekly car dealer website on Orchard. And what is interesting is that we know who made that. They are made by this company, jazelauto.com. This is not an Orchard website, but they sell car dealer websites to all the car dealers in the world apparently, and it's an Orchard solution. And I published a message on the forum just to ask who is doing that. Talk to us, explain us how you do that and how Orchard helps you and how Orchard is a pain for you, how we can improve that. So we'll see if we have some feedback. Anyone knows jazelauto.com? Or guys working there? No? Liquid Markets, nice big website. Look at that. Lots of content. And this one, startups.co, very well classified in the top websites worldwide. Orchard. So nice set of websites this week again, like every week. Okay, nothing new. Oh yes, maybe something new, but I'm not reading the last ones. Okay, just talking about Tesla. Good. So that's it for the websites this week. Demos in the order. Sipke ready? Or anyone? Stop presenting.
Yeah, I'll
Okay, you
share
can
my
go.
desktop.
While he's starting to present, I have a customer who has added or developed a way to define default values for the taxonomy fields. So when you create a new taxonomy field, you can say, oh, by default, select this and this for this taxonomy. Should we add it in the core?
I've had that requirement too before. I think
Okay.
it would be nice.
Other members? Bertrand, Sipke, Sultan?
Frankly, I don't know what we are talking about.
When you add a new taxonomy field using a taxonomy module, you could select which terms should be selected by default when you create a new content item. So you can define a default value on taxonomy field. It's even more important if you make it mandatory. You could say, okay, let's select one, it's mandatory.
Exactly. Yeah. That was the issue.
Yeah, totally. Totally.
Okay.
Yeah, that should be there.
So you wanted that, I say do it, and I take it. I did it, it's okay. Just have to, someone at Microsoft, so just have to see for legal reasons what we can do. We'll see. Okay, Sipke.
Can you guys see my screen? Is it loaded?
Yeah, I can.
For me, yes. Benedek?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I did some work on the lists module. I'll quickly demo it by creating a book content type system. So a book consists of a chapter. A chapter consists of pages. So we'll start with creating a book page.
Consists of paragraphs, and then if it fits into a page, that makes a page, but the page itself is not a concept of. So we don't care.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, totally. But that's we can do that as well. But I didn't prepare
just
that. Yeah.
teasing.
We'll just stick with this. Exactly. So a page is a containable.
Crazy how IE renders the fonts better than in Chrome.
Come again?
I said in IE, Internet Explorer, the fonts render much better than in Chrome. This is
Yeah,
there.
I noticed. Say this is my book, my chapter, my page. This will be like this. This will be the slug pattern, URL pattern for a page. Save. I'll quickly create a.
Beautiful modularity of Orchard.
It is beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. Every time I work with it, it's what I think. Beautiful. A chapter is a containable because it's contained by a book, but it's also a container because it contains pages.
So this is just to answer Nick's question from last week.
Exactly.
How to make a hierarchy.
Yep. So I added a couple of settings to the container part. We can now configure it on the content type level, whether it supports drag and drop, a manual sort. We can change the name, of course. Call it drag and drop for now. We'll set it to true by default. We have a view mode, so by default it's using the default view, which is just the admin summary display. I'll show the others later.
Yeah, it's not so much drag and drop than
It's ordering.
Yeah, you're right.
Drag and drop is the way you do that, but you want to order.
Good point. I'll change that. Chapter contains just book pages. Save. And finally, we'll create
This is kind of disappointing from you that you didn't get it right the first time.
The list module?
Yeah, the ordering drag and drop thing.
Yeah.
That we have to say it, so
I like to
you
disappoint.
could do better next time.
I'll try, man. I'll try. Just do my best. So this will be...
That's not sufficient.
Here is a little trick for you, Sipke. Keep expectations low. This way you don't have to deal with such shit.
Yeah, I'll keep that in mind. That's a cool.
Did you notice the effort I made to sell myself on the forum for the committee elections?
I noticed
because last year I just said.
I was surprised. Yeah,
I think I just said vote for me. I don't care. Boom.
It was a single liner, and now it was like.
But are you sure that maybe some people took it as a, being mean and how do you say that in English?
Yeah, if they don't know you, then.
And yeah, so now I'm very specific about what a dick I am, and I made a full paragraph of it.
Yeah, was my favorite part.
So, what's the point of a containable part? Because everything can be containable as it has a common part. So why do we need containable?
Well, the containable part is important because it holds information about the position of a content item in a list.
Okay, yep, alright, that makes sense. Cool, thanks.
Right, that's okay. So, I'm forgetting something. Did we create a book? No, we created a chapter and we need to create a book. And a book itself, it's also containable because we want a list of books to maintain. And it is a container of chapters.
Dying to see the admin pages.
We'll create a pattern. My book.
So next step, you make a recipe for that, okay?
Yeah.
Create a book recipe.
Exactly. I'll include that in the core, a book recipe. Okay, so we have our type system set up. We'll create a list of books. We'll call it books.
A list definition.
Yeah, this is the term we coined.
No, it's okay. Just pointing that we're creating a list definition.
Correct.
And then we will create lists based on that.
Actually, it's not like that. We need to talk about it.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll discuss this. We'll add it to the admin manual. We'll call it a book.
Okay.
Oh, I see what you're doing. Okay.
And let's enable drag and drop or ordering. So now we'll create our first book.
An orchard book?
Well, let's call it Wizard's first rule.
The orchard book already exists, doesn't it?
Oh, there's one.
There's one, yeah.
So this is a book. We'll create a new chapter. And for this chapter, we'll create a new page. Page 1. I'm thinking of maybe adding a button here for this view mode to create another one, because right now we have to close, and then we'll hit the new book page button to create another one. I don't know what you guys think about that. It may make the process of creating content quicker.
Well, when you create a blog post, you might not want to create a blog post right after. Depends.
That's true. That makes sense. Yeah.
Here I'm doing a demonstration, so that's not the typical usage.
That's a good point. So we created 3 pages.
I'm noticing that the positions have become like -1, -2, -3.
Mm-hmm.
Is it meant to be minus, or is it meant to be 0, 1, 2, 3?
Well, I don't like that it's negative numbers, but it was the easiest way to implement. This list by default is sorted by that position. But
because the new one are first.
That's the thing. I want to add new ones at the top. By default.
Okay.
So it was the easier. But of course, I can change that, but it requires a little bit more coding.
It would just be a bit. It would make it more consistent with the rest of the weighting,
true.
the way the weighting works around the
So
system.
you feel it would be better to use positive numbers, and then the higher the number, the higher it appears in the list.
I don't know. I think the way it currently stands is that isn't weighting done by descending, so 0's at the top. Is that the way
that's
it's
currently the way it
No,
is. Yeah.
well, it depends. If you everything is in position today, so position means 0 is the top, 1 is after. But if you call it weight, if it's heavier than something else, it goes down. So the lighter is at the top and the heavier is at the bottom, which is the
Yeah, so it's 0, 1, 2, 3, and 0 would be at the top.
okay. Or you can say it's the opposite of position, and then I don't know. Yep. So you can call it weight and order by the opposite, if it makes sense.
Come again?
I mean, you can order on the opposite.
Yeah, we can order on the
Side,
opposite.
so, yeah.
Totally. Maybe we should do that.
It's easier.
So then we have positive numbers, but they're ordered descending.
Yep.
Okay.
You just increase the number, and yes, you can define descending or ascending by default.
Okay. Then we'll do that. So we'll close this. As you may have noticed, we're stacking pop-ups to be able to create
I didn't see that.
Yeah, I removed the border because if you see stacked pop-ups, then it becomes really narrow. So that's why I removed the border a little bit. So now we have a book, Wizard's First Rule, and let's quickly create 2 more chapters without pages. So now we have chapter 3 to 1. We can drag and drop them into position if we want to. We also have a couple of list operations, which includes shuffle, reverse, and sort. We can, for example, sort by title, ascending, and this will this will actually update the positions of the list. So this is permanent. We can also turn off drag and drop, and because we configured this on the content type level, that's not overridable. If we set it to not set, then we can configure it on the content item level. So we may want to do that for book. Maybe I'll set this to not set. And now we can say that looks like a bug. We should be able to say to control the setting on this item level. So I need to look into that. For now, we'll set it to. Oh, it didn't update. That's weird. Huh. Okay, let's try again. As you can see right now, we aren't able to drag and drop anymore. It's because that's the option, right? We can choose orderable or not, and now we can just order it by recently published or even title. The title is a tricky one. I need to think about that because not all content items have title parts.
Yep. You should do the same as for the content. You just sort on title part.
Yeah, so that's what I'm doing right now. But if the content item doesn't have a title part, then it will not be included.
It doesn't make sense to order by title then. That's it. You can't.
And are you saying that it should also not appear in this?
No, you don't care.
You don't don't care.
Leave it here. You will just show nothing.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Oh yeah, what I wanted to show as well. Is this. So we go to a book, and I added 3 buttons here. This is extensible. These are list views. So we have a condensed view. So you have a better, well, if you prefer this, you can configure it to be like this. I'm working on a tree view. I'm just not sure this is hard-coded still. This is work in progress. I don't know if it should be incorporated in core. We need to discuss that. But I know that people like seeing a tree view. So the way it's currently built, it's extensible. So it could be done as a part of another module. Another module could provide a list view type. Yeah. We can drill down into a chapter and then into a page. We have a breadcrumbs here, so we can quickly navigate back and forth, just back, and using this list forth. And anything I'm missing?
Very nice. It's okay, even if you miss something, we'll have our meetings.
Yeah, that's basically it. List operations, list views, and and a way to create hierarchical content, using the stacked pop-ups.
Yep, awesome.
That's it. Questions?
Zoltan?
Or remarks?
No, it's awesome. I
Thanks.
want to play with it. Zoltan, next? Ready?
Yeah, sure. Let me share my screen. Please let me know when you can see it. This demo will be about the download as module. So, as the name implies, you can use this to download content items as different files, different types of files. So it's still connecting. So what it does currently is that it can display downloading, and if you click that, it will take the content item it is pointing to. If it's a container, it will flatten the whole hierarchy behind it and present you as a downloadable file. Now, currently only HTML is supported, whereas you should be able to see my screen.
Yeah, it's loaded for me.
Sorry?
Yes, it is, yes.
Alright, great. So currently only HTML is supported, but PDF is just a few classes away, and then other formats as well, if we don't want to have the file conversion incorporated in a module, and I don't really want to have it. So let's see what is there. So there are 3 features currently. One is the base, no, not this one, but the base feature that contains the basic services. And now there are currently 2 features, one for the functioning HTML and one for the work in progress PDF one. So everything now is enabled. So what we get is the following. first of all, there's a small configuration page. Here you can set one thing, and this is the cache timeout for a file. So the downloadable files once generated are cached for this many minutes. And also there is this Cloud Convert API key for the PDF feature. It's not working yet, but I intend to implement it because here's this Cloud Convert service. It's a nice service. They have a nice API, and I would like to employ this to convert to everything from HTML because that's easy. I wanted to do it otherwise first, like with a PDF view engine and generating PDF from HTML by parsing the HTML, but that's just too much work for now. So that's it. If we have the feature enabled, we get a controller that we can use to download arbitrary content items, but we might want to make this more comfortable by displaying a link, of course. So I have added a part to Markdown repo page. This is a content type we have here, and it's called download link. So this download link part will just display a download link, or rather links for each of the providers that there are. So currently HTML and PDF. Now this Markdown repo page is provided by our external pages module. So every content here is pulled from Bitbucket, and what you can see here is our Orchard.io library, but it's in a different instance. So this is just a test instance, test Orchard instance I have here, and as you can see, these two links are displayed here. So if I go a page deeper, we have the same links here as well. Of course, it's not styled or anything, it's just a link. And now if I click HTML, PDF is not working, of course, but if I click HTML, an HTML file is generated, and it will contain the whole library. So here is the whole library. And why? Because this here is the front page of the Dojo library. We have sub-pages below it, like this Orchard link collection. And this Orchard link collection is a content item, of course, and its container is the Orchard.io library front page. If we go to software development guidelines, it's the same, but we have a hierarchy even deeper. So best practices, for example, is a sub-page under software development guidelines. So we have this whole tree of container connections. Now, the downloaders module flattens this, and here we have the whole hierarchy flattened, so every content item from the Orchard.io library. And it's in order. So if there are no links, in the content item we want to download, then the order of contained items is flattened just by taking the ID, so as the creation date was. But if we have links, like here, so the first link is for the link collection, the second link is for the software development guidelines, then this order will be kept. And that's what we have here. So first we have the front page, then it's concatenated with the link collection, and then comes the software development guidelines page. The links still work. So on the front page we have links, but these links were rewritten to in-page links. So if I click Orchard FAQ, for example, it takes us to the frequently asked questions page in the same HTML file. This is a full document, by the way. So it's correct HTML, nothing special here, but there's a separate wrapper shape around it, because all this is built from shapes. So in the background, the shapes are rendered and the output captured, and this is what we see here. But this is just HTML. Now PDF is a logical next step, and it's very easily achievable with this Cloud Convert service, because you just give it an HTML and it outputs a PDF. It would be more difficult to have, for example, Excel files, to be able to download Excel files. I have thoughts about that, but nothing settled yet. So what really works is HTML and soon PDF. It's extensible, so you can have as many providers as you want. And that's how it works. So what do you think? Any questions? Likes, dislikes?
Must be useful. You're breaking the web.
You can take the web with you in
It's
your
okay.
pocket.
Joomla broke it before you, so you can break it again. It's okay. I think in Joomla
actually
you can export every page in PDF or something like that.
Really? I didn't know that. It's actually the idea was brought up. So the idea of being able to download the Orchard.io library was brought up by a forum member on the discussion board, and then it evolved to an idea of being able to download arbitrary content items as arbitrary file types.
I think it's great that now I can download the web and print it.
And you can mail it.
Yes.
Instead of a link.
Yeah, of course, it's not useful for everything. So
Google Cache. Google Cache.
For Google Cache. And Internet Payback Machine.
Also.
What it's particularly useful for is kind of book-like or wiki-like contents like the Orchard.io library specifically. So of course you won't have these for, I don't know, arbitrary pages or blog posts. Well, actually, who knows? So that was it. Thanks for watching.
Thank you. Cécile. Cécile.
Yes.
Cécile. Non, c'est celle.
If it lets me. Okay. Let's see if it works better than last time. No, not this one. No. Okay, can you see it?
Nothing yet.
Nothing yet.
Okay, let me know when it's on.
For me.
Okay, so what I did is that I took Sébastien's SSR module and I extended it because I needed it. And it was limited in a number of ways that didn't make it usable on my actual real-world site. So one of the things I added is a way to configure a secure hostname and an insecure hostname that are different, so that when you transition from secure to insecure, you actually change the domain, which is a recommended best practice. In fact, you should have your certificate on a different domain that avoids a number of attacks that are possible otherwise. So you have this this setting. I don't know if we already had that. Do you remember, Sebastian? SSL on specific pages, where you can specify a number of specific URLs where you want to force SSL.
I think that should be actually the only setting somehow. What enters the SSL mode?
I think we can do better than that. So I think it should always be on for authentication and administration pages if you have it configured, because those should really be protected. You should be able to add some specific pages, but another thing that I added is that you can actually in your code you can decide that you want something protected.
Okay, with
so, for example,
the attribute.
Well, here's the thing. Attributes are great if that attribute is available in core. Otherwise, it means that you need to take a reference to that other
There's one in
module.
ASP.NET.
Yeah, I know, but it doesn't. It's not exactly appropriate because you don't necessarily have the SSL certificate installed, and you don't necessarily have the module configured. So what the attribute in ASP.NET is saying is force SSL. So it's pretty much saying I don't want this page to be served at all if I don't have SSL configured. Here, what you're doing is that you're asking that SSL is applied if it's available. So I think it should be a little different, but that can be discussed. But so eventually I would like there to be an attribute because it would be cleaner. But what you can do here, I added a convention, which is that if the action name or the controller name becomes with secure, then that is going to force SSL when it's available. So that's what I did here on my checkout process. So here you can see that I'm secure here because I'm in the admin. If I go to the front end, then I'm going to transition to the insecure host name. And then when I go to checkout, I'm still not yet under SSL, but here I'm going, on the next step, I'm going to switch to the Stripe controller, which is the one that has secure as the prefix of the controller, which is the convention. So this is going to transition me to the HTTPS
And
domain.
if you go back to if you click on this link,
On which link?
Your home page.
Then I go back to the non-secure one.
Yeah, this is wrong. This is why I said this module is wrong. I wrote it and it's wrong.
Okay.
When you're on SSL, you should not leave SSL. That's why I said there should be one setting, which is how to switch to SSL. And you can't go back to non-SSL.
Why is that?
Because it's a security issue, because your cookie is there. And if you go back to non-SSL, you send the SSL cookie over non-SSL.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Are you sure that the cookie is going to remain there if you are on a different domain?
Okay, if you're on a different domain, well, maybe
a different host.
Yes, and maybe it's a subdomain, which means hey, it's still there.
Well, usually you would do secure.noisette.com, for example. But if the cookie is limited to the host name, then...
And let's say you don't have another domain. Because it's not because you ensure that it's safer to have another domain. Sometimes, no, I just want one domain and everything on SSL once I am on SSL.
Well, then you will want to force everything on SSL. Yeah, that's just an IIS setting. You don't need the module for that.
But subdomains are also an issue, I think. And
yeah, we need to discuss that, and it's not finished, but yeah, you're probably right. So, well, the reason why I made those changes is that I need it because Stripe imposes SSL, which is the right thing to do. But I think most people should actually do SSL for the admin at least, and the login, and potentially more than that. And I'd like to propose that we put the SSL module into core in a future version.
Yes, but we need to change it and to be sure about what it has to do and how to make it right. Like I said,
Sure.
I wrote it initially, and I know it's a big flaw because I intentionally made the remove SSL thing when you go out of the authentication or the admin thing, which is wrong. Once you enter SSL, you should keep SSL. Another option might be always SSL. So when you enter a website, it just accepts SSL and redirects you to SSL. Or when you enter a specific page. But the question of different domains is another thing to add.
I would definitely want a strong security review on that module if it if it goes into core.
I will ask them and they will answer.
Yes.
Hey, what about decorating a controller to force SSL?
That's some of what Bertrand did, and that's what I was suggesting using an attribute, for instance. So Bertrand used the convention, which is if the controller starts with secure, it's the same. I was talking about using an attribute. I'm afraid that the attribute in ASP.NET will also trigger some ASP.NET behavior. I have to check that, and maybe it's good too. If the attribute is there, it might work.
Yeah, one thing we run into at OneStop quite a bit with this pattern is we it's always bad if you can avoid a redirect. So if you could build navigation that's directly pointing to a secure URL versus hitting it and then redirecting it.
Yes, that's a good point, and actually you need that when you do, for example, post using Ajax, because if it's a redirect actually transforms your post into a get. It doesn't preserve the verb. So in those cases, you actually have to post directly to the secure address. So one of the next things I'm doing is to add URL.secure action.
But couldn't it be
that would be very handy.
So if you, for instance, I see what you mean. So if you, for instance, no, it can't be automatic because you have to point the.
Yeah, it's config dependent. I mean, you need to know everything about the configuration of the module in order to generate the right URL every time.
Yeah, the other thing that we've run into is, if you use relative URLs, for example, let's say you're on a checkout page and suddenly slash is your relative URL for your homepage logo, and you click that, you're going to be in HTTPS www.sitename.com. And you don't want the users to be on there with HTTPS, so then we redirect them away.
Yes.
So you're going to be redirected, but what Sebastian is saying is that this is wrong. You should actually
it's a flow.
on HTTPS.
Security flow. Even your images. And the browser will be and the browser will be explicit about that. If you have mixed content, it will tell you there is mixed content, which means you broke SSL.
Yeah, we've danced around this issue in a lot of different ways over the years, and it's tricky. I mean, ideally, every URL is rendered properly, and you don't have to do redirects ever. I mean, that's really the best situation. So if you're on a secure page such as checkout, your homepage link, I guess the href has to be fully qualified.
Also,
with an HTTP on it.
We agree.
Yeah. There are people advocating to always use SSL, even on non-secure pages. What do you think about that?
Yes, so that's great if you're Facebook and you have a lot of money. And you can afford to one, encode everything, which is not so much of a problem, and B, not have caching on your images.
And it's a case-by-case decision, and we just have to enable the scenario to make it possible.
The problem is, as soon as you enable SSL, you can say bye-bye to all caching down the flow. I mean, down from your server, there is no caching going on. So that's a problem.
That is a problem, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
That's it.
So we are over time, which is great. So you'll see 171 this week again, like the past 6 weeks, and talk to you next week.
Bye.
Thank you,
guys.
Bye bye.
Bye everyone.
Bye.